right, every all right, everybody. Welcome to our virtual monthly event. Very exciting. So, I are going to be talking about service learning, why it matters, and also in regards to waste and recycling in schools, and just some kind of real life projects that we've seen on the ground over years and years and years of building, and how that's impacted kids, communities, teachers. And so my name is Rachel Wahle, and I am the Kansas Green Schools Director with Casey. And I have a fantastic job in that I really get to be on the ground, hands on, working with teachers and students, and it's just very exciting. And with this event today, I reached out to my partner in crime on many things, Amanda Campanella, and she said yes to joining me as a co host for this. And so I will let Amanda introduce herself as well.
Thanks, Rachel. I'm happy to be here, and I love being your partner in crime. Um, and I just finished up my term as lead for District Green Team in USD 383, where we've been supporting environmental education by trying to build green teams at every school and just offering support through what Casey offers with teacher trainings and things, and actually community connections and resources and things like that.
Yeah. And can you share what you're currently doing too?
So currently I've stepped away from working with the schools outside of a volunteer capacity. I'm still volunteering with school gardens when needed, but right now I am focusing on caregiving for my mother-in-law who has dementia, and she's still able to be at home, but we're teetering on that, not exactly sure how much longer she'll have at home. So I'm taking care of her though.
Yes. So she has lots of experience and has done a lot with the school district with mental health, and has just been a champion for so many teachers along the way. So I'm going to kind of let you handle this first part, Amanda, and then I'm going to follow.
Okay. So yeah, recycling is, I love how Rachel called it a gateway, because it's a really easy way to get students kind of immediately involved and aware. I mean, how many of us threw away things for years, and then when we started to recycle, it was like, oh my gosh, that's in my trash. I can't believe how much I'm taking out of the trash can. And when you start composting, it's even more. It's like, oh, I have no trash anymore because it's all getting diverted to these different places. So recycling is a super easy way in the school to get those immediate results and to build leadership, because you'll get a group of students who start championing it and start getting excited about, like, don't throw that plastic away, don't throw that can away, like it can be recycled, make sure you separate it out. And um, it is cross-curricular. So when you do the waste and recycling investigation, you do this trash audit where you go through and separate out everything and weigh it and do all of this math to figure it out. And in 383, a few years ago, we had a group of students showcase this a huge amount of data for the board, and it was really, really cool. So that brings in your science, your ELA, your civics, so much advocacy, and it connects to real world issues. And it sparks this fire for kids, because then it's like, oh, okay, well, we're recycling all of this plastic, but maybe we shouldn't be using all of this plastic. How are ways that we can use, reuse things and take some of this waste out of the waste stream? And then it starts, like, then they want to start learning more and more about, where does trash go? Where does waste go? How is it managed on community levels or national levels or global levels? And just all the sort of cool things that are happening. I mean, we hear so much about all the horrible things that are happening with regards to waste and climate chaos and all of that. But when you start researching more into it, you find all of these people who started with small projects like this, who are now um, creating huge change and really cool initiatives to try and solve some of these problems. So it's a small project that can have a really big ripple effect.
That's for sure. So this is So housed within Casey is what we call the Kansas Green Schools program. And right now we have over 500 districts across the, or I'm sorry, 500 schools across the state of Kansas and over 20 districts who are part of the network. And so seeing that grow has been very exciting. So the main enjoyment or opportunity that lies within the Kansas Green Schools program is, sure, you can be a part of the network. It's free. It's just kansasgreenschools.org. But what's neat is there's actually 5 different service learning projects that really get kids investigating, exploring, actually collecting data, and based on what they learn, they put together an action plan moving forward. And so, what we're going to be talking about today is the waste and recycling investigation. The other investigations include the energy investigation. There's water, which looks at water quality and water quantity. There's the healthy school environment, which looks at indoor and outdoor air quality, chemical management, pest management, just all the things that are almost invisible. But that investigation kind of draws your eye to actually being an observer in the school. And then the last one is the learning community, which looks at your school grounds and how you're using them as habitat. The students calculate the value of the trees that are on their property. So, school gardens, pollinator gardens. So, it's all about how you're using your school space. Also, the biodiversity based on plants, animals, and how that all ties together. So, this is a day that we did a cafeteria investigation. And with this investigation, it starts out with students learning, where does their trash go when they throw it away? That's a big part that we talk about, is where is this mysterious away? Do people know where their trash is going? Ironically, where we live in Manhattan, it always boggles my mind that our trash is hauled 90 miles to Lawrence in a truck and 90 miles back. So anytime we can reduce our waste, just what that's doing for the number of trash trucks that are driving back and forth, that's always impressive to me. The actual investigation explores looking at what kind of waste and how much waste classrooms are generating, as well as whole school spaces such as the office, the library. And then the last component of investigation is the cafeteria audit. And at the end of this, they have very strong data and they can move forward with action planning. What's neat is as you're doing these investigations, you can earn recognition. So when schools complete 2 investigations, they earn what's called a silver globe. When they do 4 investigations, they earn a gold globe. And when they complete all 5, that's the green globe, which is kind of like the pinnacle success. So here's just some cool spots. These are high school students, and it all starts with just forming a team. It could be a classroom, it could be a club that meets during school, after school, but everybody's team looks a little bit different. This is one of my favorite. I mean, I just was there in this moment. And so it always just resonates with me so much. This was at the Manhattan High School, which is a huge high school, 6A. And their cafeteria, they have to have 3 lunch periods. And the students set up to do this waste cafeteria audit this day. And they had set up trash cans around, the perimeter of where everyone was eating. And basically, when the students would stand up with their trays or whatever they had, they would go, and it was a trio of trash cans. One is what was actual trash, one was what was compost, and the other was what could have been recycled. And so, talking to the custodian when we were setting this up, there were 30 trash cans, 30 around the perimeter of the cafeteria every day. So after every lunch period, she was having to pull 30 bags of trash, and that was 3 waves. So every day she was pulling 90 bags of trash, and that was just at lunch alone, not including breakfast and not including, obviously, the rest of the school. And why I think this investigation is so important, especially in regards to cafeteria, is because sometimes trash doesn't weigh a lot. Plastic is basically air. And so your data might be skewed if you just did it on weight, but if you did it on volume, that's 16,400 bags of trash a year just in lunch generation. And I think that's almost more, I mean, it's more impressive. I mean, it's just also equally impressive data. And the custodian was almost these kids' number one fans because when they were trying to reduce the amount of trash generated, that was going to make her life easier. And so getting people on board, sometimes you think custodians might be resistant, but I think it's your way in which you're working with them and how you can show them what your efforts and action planning are doing is going to make their job easier. This is going to be kind of exciting because Amanda also went through this with me. So I'm going to turn this over to her and I will chime in anytime you want, friend.
Okay. Well, so yeah, here in Manhattan, a group of people started the group called the Green Champions. In what was that? Did you guys really start in 2016? And then
I think it was about 2017 with the
and it
teachers.
we so in 2017 we got a big group of teachers together and kind of decided as a district that we wanted to have this group that would, I mean, there's always like a lone ranger at a school that has big dreams and big ideas for wanting to do environmental education, and we wanted to kind of connect all of those people to provide support throughout the district. And we got community people involved and just started making this web of connections, which was really great. And it led to this district-wide waste and recycling investigation, which was part of what Rachel was showing on that previous slide with the cafeteria. And we got some amazing data and took it to the Board of Education and showcased that how much waste could be saved if we took on recycling as a district. And it has taken a long time to get buy-in from district administration, but I am happy to say that a year ago we now have recycling as a district line item, and we also have a community partnership with our local recycling service to where they sort of give us a good discount on recycling services because the whole district is doing it. So it, yeah, we've learned a lot. Rachel, I'm not sure what you wanted to highlight here about challenges and how students and teachers solve them. I mean, there are challenges with recycling. Being in the school, one challenge I saw repeatedly was just the education that's needed around how to sort recycling and you have to build this buy-in from the top down. Throughout the whole school so that kids and teachers and other staff understand what goes into a recycling bin and what doesn't, and what happens when recycling is dirty. So if it is really contaminated with things that shouldn't go through this really cool machine called a MRF, which Rachel and I have toured one that's on Fort Riley. And it's so crazy because they take this commingle recycling bin, they dump it in here, and this machine just starts sorting out plastic and aluminum and tin and steel and all these different things, paper, and it knows how to do it. Engineers are amazing. So, but if your recycling is full of nonsense like food or used Kleenexes or used paper towels or all the stuff that doesn't belong in that commingled system, sometimes the recycling service will actually just have to dump that entire bin into the garbage. So it's all for naught at that point. So I would say one of the biggest challenges is education and buy-in. So educating the people who are going to be using the recycling bins to make sure that they're using them appropriately and that they care to use them appropriately. And then if you are looking to have recycling, supported by your staff or paid for by your school, that you're going to need to work on buy-in with administration. So be prepared to, get that data, provide them that information so that they can understand why this is important and how it affects the school as a whole. Um, Bigger projects. Yes, it did. We said it's a gateway. It did spark a lot of other investigations and advocacy for different um, learning opportunities outside of school where kids wanted to be outside more, or teachers were realizing that they wanted to get their kids outside more and have an opportunity for school gardens, whether that was pollinator pockets to get more bees and butterflies around and, connect with the science curriculum that the students were already working on, or whether it was vegetable gardens. We have a partnership with Garden Rage where there's a fourth grade can do these salad gardens, which are really cool. And there's a whole curriculum involved with that. Green gatherings where we would connect with community members and go tour. Like one of the ones my kids really remember is the wastewater treatment plant. That is gnarly. If you've never toured one of those, make time and go tour your wastewater treatment plant because those people are doing good work. We toured our water treatment plant, the recycling center, a community garden that's on K-State ground. So it's like a student community garden. And then it sparked some more interest in teachers to do more professional development around environmental education and the opportunities that it offers. As far as Trek spins, that's so unfortunately, plastic bags are usually not accepted by most commingle recycling programs. They don't sort out very well. And so a lot of times you'll have to seek out separate recycling for plastic bags, like plastic grocery bags or Ziplocs or whatever. It is really easy to get hold of a Trex bin. I got them for multiple schools in 383 just by sending an email and saying, hey, can I get 6 Trex bins? And they shipped them to me. And you can participate in their program where there's like a competition involved, and you can get as involved as you want with it, or it can just be as simple as you have this Trex bin in your school. You teach people that you're going to collect plastic bags and keep them out of the waste stream. And then you just drop them off at a local site that accepts those. Like here in Manhattan, there's Dillon's is one of the most common places where people will drop off plastic bags. Also, yeah, we learned through our cafeteria investigation that our district uses a lot of styrofoam trays. And there's a lot of people are really upset about that and frustrated. And they're like, my goodness, it's almost, it's 20 whatever. And we're using styrofoam trays. Why is that so backwards? And we were able to get in touch with our district food director and find out that she hates using styrofoam trays. Like she doesn't want to. She has her own budget. It's not part of the district budget. And when she would ship out at the beginning of the year to have reusable trays, washable trays, and washable silverware for all of the cafeterias, there was a big cultural problem in the schools where students they were just unaware. They were not, and they were being careless. They were throwing away the silverware. They were throwing away the trays, or we were having such a hard time getting staff members available on a regular basis to be able to wash the washable trays and silverware that unfortunately we had to go to something disposable. And when she was looking at her budget, there was such a drastic price difference between something that's biodegradable and something that's styrofoam that she was doing the best she can with the money she had.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was at the school yesterday, one of the schools, and I don't know how they determine the plan, but some kids had plastic and some kids had disposable. And it's been funny because Stephanie's been at the school every Tuesday that I've been there over lunch. And so I'm like, huh. She looks at me like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
So through the waste and recycling investigation, this next part is kind of go with it because it's kind of complicated to explain. So there's the waste and recycling investigation, and There is also the Keep It Clean Kansas Challenge or the Kick Challenge. And this is through this kind of through the Kansas Department of Health and Environment, the Bureau of Waste. And they formerly had I believe, a calendar contest, and they just didn't really feel like the education was there. And the other component was they were actually generating waste by doing a calendar contest. So they reached out to us to come up with maybe a better way. And that's where this Keep It Clean Kansas Challenge came from. So you can scan that QR code. And this has been, I believe we're on year 3, I believe, this year. And it's very cool because it's schools that put together an education project that has to do with waste and recycling. Jenna Sims is on, and I think a slide of hers is actually after this. But it's very neat because one of the favorite ones I've seen is her students did a music video to Taylor Swift's Shake It Off, except it was sort it out, hey, hey, it was very cute. And so there's high school projects that are submitted, middle schools and elementary schools. And it's basically they have to showcase some sort of, thank you, Laura Downey. So that is the Keep It Clean Kansas Challenge. You don't have to complete the waste and recycling investigation in order to submit a project for the Kick Challenge, but you get more points if you do. The next part of this is Jenna, and I just wanted to showcase her students because they're fabulous. And I also wanted to put in the picture with her Trex because Jenna's also talked about the importance of Trex spins before. This is Tyler. Tyler may not even be at her school anymore. It's so sad. But she has a great team called the Global Guardians, and she works with them at a younger age, and they just keep getting older and older. And that's actually what we've been seeing in the Manhattan School District is that some of these kids that started at an elementary level with a district-wide focus that every school has a green team, the high schoolers are the ones that are actually looking into green careers. And when asked why that was, it was because they've just been a part of a green team since they were young and they love it. And I think that's really neat because it exposes to careers that, they probably never would have known existed. So if you're looking for some practical project ideas around service learning, one thing the Casey staff is working on right now with the city of Manhattan is a trash apocalypse, which will be in October. And it's going to be centered around basically dressing up like zombies and picking up trash, as well as other kind of fun components that we're working on that. But that's something anybody, any school, anywhere can pick that up and run with it this fall. There's also many challenges, like Amanda alluded to, like Trex has challenges with like 1 week, how many bags, but making sure you're teaching the kids don't go and just get bags from the store to bring, like actual collect them from home, but all kinds of recycling and bag challenges. Makers fairs are very popular and always so creative to see what kind of cool ideas kids can come up with. And even sell. Like I love going to makers fairs where they invite parents and we can do shopping. And I think the kids learn about money that way as well. Composting pilot projects, all the recycling education campaigns, just like Amanda said, and we were talking about the high schoolers learned from the cafeteria audit how the education was not there for the students at all. And they didn't even know what could be recycled in their community. And so that's actually the next action plan they did is they made about a 10-minute video with the local recycling facility in town about what could and couldn't be recycled and why. These are actually 10,000 bottle caps that the school collected and turned it into a school mascot. As well as organizing green gatherings, which are just what Amanda said, getting out in the community and inviting families to go explore what is happening in regards to water, waste, energy in your communities. This is free. Yes, thanks to the sponsorship of KDHE. This is the Be the Change Leadership Strategies for Greener Schools. This kicks off October 6th and runs through December 10th. It's an online, do it at your own pace, and it's all about getting the whole process of what we talked about going in your school or community. And it really walks you through how to do the Keep It Clean Kansas Challenge, as well as the other green school investigations. This is the Green School Virtual Academy, which Jenna and her students have done over the years. And that's really where I think we fell in love with each other, Jenna. I loved you before, but man, getting to be with your children, it was pretty great. So we're going to be kicking this off this year again for the Keep It Clean Kansas Challenge. And it's just mentoring monthly to help your students walk through whatever investigation the virtual academy happens to be that semester, and hopefully get them to the point of submitting a project in the spring for the Kick Challenge. And finally, we just want to say thank you. It really is awesome. And honestly, Jenna and so many other people are the real people out there doing the work. And so I appreciate, Amanda, everything you've done for the district. I know a lot of times you felt like you were fighting a uphill battle, but I never doubted what we could accomplish for a moment. And Jenna, you're just a bright light and you're an inspiration. And what you do is so easy and teachable, and you share your knowledge so freely. So thank you for what everybody does to make the world a better place.
Thank you, Rachel.